Take that as a yes.
What?
The ring.
We're asking people we don't know to risk their lives.
Strong man is strongest alone. You ever heard that?
That's not a saying. That's the opposite of what the saying is. Divided. We are not enough. The world needs Superman. I made him a promise. This is why I brought you together.
Ride ain't over yet.
My man.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of We Watched a Movie. It's Brandon and Finn, your regular hosts, and we just got through watching Justice League, and we're going to talk all about it right now. So, Brandon, why don't you go ahead and start us out with your opening salvo?
First of all, I had low expectations for this movie. Other than maybe the Wonder Woman movie, I've been a big critic of the DC universe cinematically. I think they do great things in terms of their comics. I think they're terrible at bringing it to movies. That having been said, I had a great time at this movie. Like, all in all, I enjoyed it. There are things I didn't like, and there are things I absolutely loved. I thought this was more fun than their other movies. I thought they focused on it being a movie, and they knew how to structure it and put it together. I thought there were some amazing performances. In particular, I thought The Flash was hilarious. Great comic, injection into the DC universe, which is normally so dark. And he is both bright visually and in terms of what he brings to the story. Like, his moments of humanity inside combat sequences are amazing. And then, of course, Gal Gadot, who just, crushes it every scene she's in. The rest of it, Ben Affleck is Batman, you're I'm glad they cut him off as much as they did. Almost intelligently, they had a lot of Ben Affleck starting a conversation and then another character interjecting and just cutting him off. I think it worked really well.
It's bittersweet. As a pretty much lifelong DC fan, much more so than a Marvel fan. It was good and it was fun to be able to see these characters in a movie version for the first time ever. A lot of them for the first time. Aquaman.
Momoa.
Right, Jason Momoa. He did a fantastic job. But as you said, and as you put it, they didn't really give him a lot to work with. They did not. They short shrifted Aquaman so much in this script, because it was kind of one of those things of they're okay, well, here are the things that you already know because we've really failed at setting up our expanded universe. So here are all the things that you don't know already, and let's really try to hurry up and get them out there, and
they just rushed
through some things, and Aquaman gets short shrift. Flash gets very little, all we know is that his dad's in prison and he's some super fast kid.
Yeah, and he's trying to become a criminal justice dude to prove his freedom.
And, I guess because apparently his dad's innocent. We don't really have any way of knowing that his dad's innocent or any chance of being for sure on that, but apparently he is. Victor Stone is the only one that they give a decent amount of a good backstory to.
Cyborg is a cool addition.
Great.
I thought he was going to be a tack-on.
He's the best. He is the best out of the characters that aren't the Trinity. Aren't Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, or related to those characters. he is the best thing aside from Flash too. Because again,
both
I would
in
say
terms
Flash,
of performance,
but as far
and
as
character development.
Yeah, as far as
Yeah.
how much character development they gave him. Because even as great as Flash is, and don't get me wrong, Flash is wonderful. He's hilarious. He's a lighthearted addition. I like him. The actor.
Some of the best moments go to him, without a doubt.
What is his name? The actor? I cannot remember his name. But at any rate, the editor will put it in there for us. He is, his performance is fantastic, but they don't give him a lot of backstory. You just get like, okay, here's a couple of snippets that if you're already a Flash fan or you already know the DCU, you know what the situation is there. We know that Reverse Flash is the one who actually killed his mom, set up his dad, and that's the reason. And he starts Barry and blah, 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 blah.
And like,
we know all
to get
that.
outside of all the DC
you
backstory.
don't know that
Yeah,
if you're an audience
no,
member,
totally. And it doesn't matter in terms of this movie. And I think Cyborg is the most interesting character because he's the only one
why bring it
that
up
relates.
if it doesn't matter? Why bring it up if it doesn't matter? And you're right, and that's the only reason why they were able to bring all that backstory in is because his backstory relates to what was going on in the overall story.
About
but why bring any
character.
of that in? Why bring any of it in? There's no reason for it. Just leave it out. It doesn't serve the story you're trying to tell. Have Bruce
they're doing it reverse.
and
They're doing it reverse. They're doing a group one that gives you just enough to set up their individual
right, they're
movies.
Reversing the Marvel thing.
The Marvel thing where you give us the backstory, so when they come together, they're
dumb.
already developed characters.
I mean,
they're doing the opposite.
Right now.
They're like teasing at what these characters are.
You and I can agree on it. It's dumb. At the end of the day, you're making a mistake, DC, okay? Jeff Johns, you guys need to, I don't know what you got to do, flip the script or reverse it, but y'all got to fix this. Because this movie was bittersweet for me.
It's already done. This movie is going to sit in people's minds.
There's so much chaos on this.
No, this is a fun movie people are going to like.
Yeah.
This is going to be
where are they going to go?
Outside of... No,
what do they got to do now? I mean, because they're going
to make a cyborg movie. That's awesome.
Okay, great. They make a cyborg movie. Yeah, I hope they get wheels on this Flash movie going because the Flash movie's already lost two of its directors.
It's a shame that
it's been in limbo for years now.
But they have a great serialized series of the Flash.
They've lost Ben Affleck on Batman.
Up.
So I mean, what are they going to do with the Batman? And you want
they weren't doing anything with Batman anyways.
And they didn't need to.
He's more or less.
You and I may disagree on this, but Christopher Nolan, he set the bar. He established the trilogy. That's it.
Absolutely.
The Batman story is done. Right?
By far.
This is supposed to be, I guess, part of a Superman trilogy. What is that? I mean, this is it's supposed to be Superman movies that aren't Superman movies, and
God, there's a moment at the beginning of this movie that I think
clumsily handled.
There's a moment at the beginning of this movie that I think sets the tone for the entire film.
You mean
it's
CGI?
This kid, no,
mustache part?
No, it's the kid at the beginning who's asking Superman questions for his
with
YouTube
the CGI
channel.
mustache. Did you notice how funky his mouth looked? That's because they CGI'd his mustache out. His mouth looked really funky.
I didn't notice that. What I noticed was the lack of writing.
Yeah,
they ask him a series of questions ending in, what do you like the most about Earth? Mm-hmm. And Henry Cavill does this look at the screen thing and then he looks up and off. And instead of giving us an answer from the character that actually reflects on him, they just go to blank screen and move on with the movie.
And then
that's the beginning of the movie.
Right, and
we don't know what Superman thinks of humanity.
And that was the idea was, I thought the idea that they were going with was, okay, we're going to answer that later on in the movie. Okay, we leave it open here. And then later on down, we're going to get the answer to that question. And it's going to come as a result of his journey and him coming back to life. And I mean, even in my expectations in the moment of watching this movie, I'm building myself up for all these grand expectations of what the story's going to be and where it's going to go. And it doesn't go anywhere. It goes, hey, here's the Avengers roadmap. So let's go ahead and just follow Joss Whedon's trail.
I agree. I think it holds the Avengers roadmap, but I think it very wisely has Superman as the Hulk at the midpoint, and I think it does answer that question. Because as soon as he comes back to life, he's dazed and confused, and he has nothing but his strength. Because they bring Superman back.
Powers,
Woo! You guess that there's Superman and Justice League moving.
Returns.
Imagine that.
Right.
He comes back and he's confused and he's angry, much like the Hulk in the middle of the Avengers. but he just eyes them up. He literally looks at them and he sees them with his X-ray vision, and he assesses with his super genius and no real sense of who he is, and he assesses them as threats. He sees that they are all a danger. He looks at the best humanity has to offer, and he's like, you're a threat. You came here to kill me. And that's his assessment of all of them. And ultimately, Batman, which is like an important throwback to the Batman versus Superman,
Right. Yeah.
he doesn't trust humanity anymore. He knows given half a chance, humanity's best will try and kill him. It hasn't just been Batman. It was also Lex Luthor. If you're looking
Yeah.
at like the smartest humans he's ever encountered,
Right.
they've all tried to kill him.
Yeah.
And then when he looks at them again for the first time with fresh eyes, newly born, unable to remember like all his deep thoughts, he's like,
But that's
you guys are a danger and
But
you
that's
need to
not
be
the
whacked.
answer to the question that was asked, though.
Yeah, it is. It's what do you think of Earth? What do you think of
the
humanity?
the answer was what is
He
the
doesn't
best
trust
part?
them.
No, the question was what is the best part about humanity? What is the best thing about humanity? That was the question. Not what do you think? What is the best thing about humanity? And
That
we
they
never
haven't
got
yet.
that answer. We never got that answer.
Oh,
This movie
well, no,
doesn't
Lois
give
Lane.
that answer.
Lois Lane, clearly. Because
I guess,
she
yeah,
shows
that
up.
last-
And as
that,
soon
like,
as he sees
that post
the girl he
movie
wants
thing, yeah.
to, like, not to be crude,
What,
but
so
to sleep
sex?
with, right?
So
Like,
sex
as
is
soon
the
as he
best
sees
thing
a
about
girl,
being a human?
he's like, that's the smart woman I want to sleep with. He's like, I guess I won't be murderous anymore.
Fair
I'm just
enough.
going to go home
So boning.
and wait for my mom to show up, who shows up way too fast
Yeah, yeah.
for all of that. I mean, you
Yeah.
have to assume Batman set that up.
Of course.
In which case, her even showing up in the old junky truck
Yeah, was
has to be
ridiculous.
like Batman
right.
thinking about it. But
He's like, she should show up in that truck.
Once
That'll
again-
really tug at his heartstrings.
I don't think where this movie fell apart was the writing. I think the writing was actually pretty smart. It shows intelligence inside all the characters as the characters, right? I think that it shows growth inside the characters as the characters. But that's like what Joss Whedon is known for. Like, you feel the humanity oozing out of these people. And even the inhumanity. Like, the way... there's a great moment where Batman says that he thinks... Superman is more human than he is,
Right.
because he's had to discard so much of his
Yeah.
humanity
Yeah,
to
in
become
order
what
to
he is.
achieve the goal that
Whereas,
he's
like,
achieved, yeah.
Superman has been striving his whole
Right.
life to be
To be
more
more
humane,
human. Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
like, I think that's really cool, and I think that's
Yeah.
really smart. I think the way that they dealt with Wonder Woman's jadedness was really intelligent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did like that too. I did like those moments between the two of them, mostly because, you know, for most of that film it is the two of them kind of verbally sparring back and forth, he and Diana. And I did love those moments of him being like, yeah, so, you know, I should, like, you know, trust and blah 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 and this, that, and the other, but, you know, you left humanity for a century. Oh, really? You know, you're gonna judge me?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
And like, and it
World
would've-
War II happened.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, well, yeah, a whole other world war that you completely
they
missed.
just gloss over
exactly,
that.
Exactly. So I would have liked to have seen, for God help me, I would have liked for them to have brought Superman back a lot earlier. You know, if you're going to go ahead and bring him back, just get it over with and do it. You
And,
know?
like, it
And
was
they
kinda-
should have really
it was
just-
kinda
and it
almost
shouldn't even
silly.
been- they really, yeah, the way that they brought him back was
All their
very
powers came
shoehorned.
together
Yeah, all your powers
to bring him
combined.
back
I am
to-
Captain
back to-
Planet.
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Very much so.
But you know, it was very shoehorny. I would have liked for it more to have been along the comic book line, which, you know, the comic book line was just basically that he had got out of him so bad that he was just basically in a light coma, and that, you know, once he had had enough sun, you know, penetrating
Yeah.
through the earth to him, he finally came back. And
But
blah,
then that
blah,
would
blah.
have
But
negated the actions of the main characters, because he's not the main character. Which is actually, I dug that, because Justice League needs to be more than one overpowered character. And he's overpowered in this movie. Oh,
agreed,
he's
but
so
he's the heart
overpowered.
of the team, and
No, the
that
heart
needs,
of the team is
and that needs
the
to
Flash.
be seen. No,
because he's the one who
no,
has humanity
no,
deep at his
no,
core.
No, at the end of the day, Justice League's heart is Clark. Period. Period.
Oh.
He's the leader. He is the father figure. he is the one who, because
all right, I agree with that. I agree with that. He's the father figure, but I think the child, the one you're supposed to grow up with, is the Flash.
No, I'd agree with you on that.
And I think that's one of the cool things that this movie acknowledged was that the Flash had a lot of growing to do.
Yeah,
and even at
that was cool.
The first instance, he's like, I'm a person who needs friends.
Although didn't he kind of feel a little Spider-Man in Civil War-ish though?
I mean,
just a little bit.
Okay, he did, except I grew with him inside of this adventure.
Right.
Like, he starts off, even in their first conflict, he stops Batman at some point.
Yeah,
he's like, hey,
I can't do this.
I can't do this. I'm not a fighter. I'm not like big guys versus insects, men who eat people. Like,
he's like, all I've done is run fast and push people.
Right. And Batman gives him the greatest advice. He's like, just save one person.
Yeah, just one person.
And like, that's great because it's Batman understanding he's a human.
Well, and what I love is that when Barry finally does it, when he's just like, okay, do this, save one person. And he goes out and he saves that one person, comes back and brings them back, and then he's like, I could do this. This is what I do.
There are 3 seconds of acting there,
right?
That
he's
are
like,
brilliant.
oh my god, dude! By whoever that is, that guy, the Flash, Barry.
I'm glad I don't know him as anything but the Flash.
Right?
I'm glad for that.
That moment, like you said, that you're right. That is some.
There's like 3 seconds
acting.
of him being like,
and
then he saves the next one.
Right? Because he figured it's that moment of him figuring it out, going, I can do this, and this is how I contribute to the team. I save the people who are in danger and keep them out of the way.
And then he continues that with the rest of the movie. There's a moment where like Gal Gadot is falling through an abyss and she's trying to get to her sword.
Right.
And he like runs through the scenery and he just reaches out and he touches the tip of the sword and it just like goes back to her hand.
Yeah.
So she gets to the ground and slays two. But like it's only because the Flash stepped in that moment.
I love the moment where he realizes that Superman can move as fast as he does. When they're all having a fight, crazy, bizarro Superman, and he's like,
there's like 3 of them on him, 3 really strong guys.
And he
on
starts
him.
running around Supes, and then like Clark his
eyes
catch him. It
him.
starts out kind of like that scene in Logan where Professor X's stuff was going off and that dude was getting stabbed in the head and he was all looking over real slow. And it starts out like that, but then it catches into regular speed, meaning that he's caught up with Barry. And Barry's like, oh crap, this guy moves as fast as I do.
Well, and that goes back to that idea that the Superman that we first encounter, that first trashes our team,
is not quite
Superman, and he doesn't know what his abilities are.
Right,
he doesn't know what they are. As soon as he catches that thing, he's like, I can move super fast too.
Yeah.
And it doesn't occur to him until the moment
until something moves super fast around him.
And then he's able to just throw all of them off. And like, it's all the Flash can do to stop from getting smashed.
From getting punched.
And once again, as we established, this is not a combative Flash that like knows how to vibrate through people or throw super speeded punches that pull your atoms apart or anything.
Right.
This is a scared child Flash being suddenly attacked by a god that can meet him.
Right.
And it leads to great drama inside that scene. And you're like, oh man, there isn't anything that's gonna stop evil Superman.
Right.
We gotta find some way to make him good Superman.
And then in some ways, maybe wasn't Bruce a little right in the previous film?
Yeah. I mean, a little bit.
At the end of the day, let's end on that.
Well, I mean, all right, we should mention there's Steppenwolf, who's a big CGI character, and he grabs a bunch of boxes. Right. Imagine that a square that opens a dimensional portal that brings an army there.
Who did that for
Avengers? Because it did steal a lot from it. I think that's one of the last things to say. Like,
bittersweet.
I thought it was bittersweet, but I thought it was as good as DC has done.
Yeah, it's the best they've done so far. I'll agree with you on that. Well, till next time, y'all keep watching movies and we'll catch you later.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching another episode of Badger Nerdworks Presents We Watched a Movie. I'm Brandon. He's Finn. Be sure to comment, like, subscribe. And if you want updates, hit the bell icon. They'll let you know. Be sure to leave some comments. We also have awesome videos over here. You should check them out. Thanks for coming and watching. We appreciate it.